Hey everyone, it's Brittney from The Pretty Plus, and today I'm going to be chatting with you about Budgeting 101. I've looked at all my videos and I've realized I haven't done like a really how to budget. I've talked about my budget and I've talked about, finding ways to put more money back into your budget, or even I've gone into more intermediate expert level with talking about sinking funds and things like that, but I haven't truly talked with you about the 1, 2, 3 steps of budgeting. And today I'm going to be doing that because I've had a lot of people message me and say like, this is awesome, but how did you start? What are the steps to even start knowing how to fill out this budget spreadsheet, which I'll link up in the iCard. And I'm going to share those things today because that's a really good question, friends, and I'm glad that you've asked because I didn't think to do that. So what I'm also going to do is make a spreadsheet. I'm so used to saying spreadsheet. I'm going to make a playlist that starts from what I would feel is the most beginner budgeting topic and go all the way to like the more experienced budgeter type of videos. And that way you can watch it in order and hopefully it'll make more sense to you. It might not make sense, the things that I'm saying, like refer to this video, my last video, but you get the point. You know how playlists work. Anyway, my first tip out of 6 is to know what you're working with. This means you're going to have to list out all your expenses, whether they're something that happens every month or something that is variable, and then list out all of your income. You obviously want your income to be able to cover your expenses, but we'll look at that information later. The point is to get it on paper, to just take a regular old piece of paper, write down all of your expenses, write down all of your income, and then you'll be able to see on paper what you're spending. I'm talking even maybe go to like October of 2018 and look, how much did you spend on groceries in October? How much did you spend on restaurants in October? How much did you spend on gas? I don't say November or December because those are kind of crazy months with the holidays, but we'll say October, and you can use that kind of as a guide. I actually went through and averaged for 6 months. You could do an average for 3 months. 6 months I found was really helpful, and probably way too in depth, but it worked for me. But if you are short on time or you're really wanting to get this done quickly, you don't have the dedication to being super creepy in your budget like I did. Clearly I had nothing else to do. I don't want to say that. I had nothing else to do combined with the fact that I was really motivated to make our budget work for us instead of working for our budget. Whew, that'll preach. Anyway, so find all of the expenses that you have and then look and see if your income covers it. So there are going to be 2 takes on this next one. The first one is if you're in debt, and the second is if you're not in debt. So set clear goals. If you're in debt, you're going to want to make those goals, the goal is going to be to get through your expenses every month on the bare minimum so that you can give the rest of it, all the surplus, to your debt. That's the first take. The second take is if you're out of debt or you just never were in debt but you want to have a budget, finding places that you want to put that money and setting your goals to make sure that they're being placed in all those spots. So say you think you're spending way too much in restaurant eating out, but you want to be taking that money and putting it in your, Roth IRA or whatever it may be. Whatever the situation, set your clear goals so that you know when you're looking at your expenses what you're going to need to learn to live without or things like that. So you can look back at your averages like I was telling you to do before and decrease each category by a percentage. That way it doesn't seem so imposing, especially for the first month. Say you spend $500 on groceries and you're like, okay, that's probably a little outrageous. We threw a lot of food away. We have a lot of things in the freezer we never even used. So I'm going to decrease my food budget, right? So you say, I'm going to decrease it by 10% and see how that goes for us. So instead of spending $500 you're going to put on your budget to spend $450. Seems super simple. It's a super easy step. And then the next month you may be, since you're tracking your budgeting, you may see, hey, I can even go down another 10%. I can go from $450 to $400 and I'd still have some room. You're going to be able to play with it and make your own rules and goals, but you're going to figure out how to stay within that budget that you're allotting yourself for the month. The third thing really goes along with this, and it is finding your pain spots. So you obviously have to set your goals, but you want to find those spots that are proving to be more painful for you. For us, it was going out to eat too much, frivolous shopping, like just shopping for no reason, and even spending too much on our groceries. Food in general, obviously, was something that we really spent a lot of money on, but it was also the easiest thing for us to be like, okay, well, we're spending $700 to $1,000 a month on food. What if we cut it back to $300? And we went really drastic the first time we made a budget. I honestly, the first month that we did our budget, I should go back and look, but I'm pretty sure that the numbers that I put in there now are pretty much the same numbers we're still using, because I cut that much that we really can't cut much more. But you don't have to do that. Just have to find those things and set your own limits, set your goals, and stay within those goals, and that is what the budget's all about. So some ways that you can make the budget work for you, and another tip that I have is to cook at home. One of the pain spots I told you for a lot of people in a lot of households is their food budget, because that's one that you can really go overboard on pretty easily, but it's one that you can also really scale back and give yourself more room in your budget to be able to pay off your debts or put toward your saving, whatever your goal, like your financial overall goal is. As long as you make a plan for your cooking and you keep it simple, it doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to get Pinterest recipes all 7 days of the week, but make a plan, keep it simple, learn to love leftovers, and learn to cook with what you have so you don't have food waste. Those are really, really important things that are going to help your budget, because not going out to eat every night really isn't super fun. It's kind of some work to cook at home, but you can do things to make it easier. And that would be more of where like a meal prep, meal planning type of video would come into place. And I have one of those I'll link for you. But cooking at home is going to be a number one way to make your budget work, to get into budgeting in general. The next one, number 5, is to give every penny a name. So many times you'll get to the end of the month and you'll be like, where did my money go? I swear I just went here and I went there, and after you've gone here and there and you spent $2 at the gas station, you went and spent $15 at the Burger King, you went here and went there, and then your money's gone. If you start every month and, have a spreadsheet or, a piece of paper, and you look at it and you think, this is where my money needs to go, this is how much I should have left over, and this is where that amount is going, then it'll be a lot easier to stay on track. I think every dollar a name helps tremendously, and I can't stress that enough. To be able to say, this is where my money's going, I'm the one putting it there, it's not putting me in a corner, I'm putting it in a corner. Kind of preachy to say it like that, but you've really got to give every dollar a name. That's like the Dave Ramsey way, right? He even has the every dollar app. But it's so helpful. If you haven't played around with that app, do it, because it's pretty cool. I prefer my spreadsheet, but the app is really cool too. So if you're looking for an app to do this in, you can do that, even though I use my spreadsheet on my phone as well. So I don't really need the app capabilities, but it does a lot of the work for you. So give every dollar a name. And then the 6th thing, the final thing, is review weekly, at least weekly, and make adjustments until you get it right. Chances are the first time you make a budget and you try to stick to it, it's not going to work out perfectly for you. You'll say, wow, I really can't spend $100 to feed my family of 7 per month. It's just not going to work out. That's okay. make adjustments, adjust as you go. Say, okay, well, I put $100 for groceries, but I put $500 for gas, and surely we won't need that. Move it. Figure it out. You can switch things around within the month. I think that's something that people get really discouraged about when they're making a budget, is that they think it's set in stone once you put it there. But as long as the numbers still work, you can move things around, right? And that's why I like using a spreadsheet that's, updated regularly, because I can say, man, I forgot that I'm going to have to get the cats food and their litter all in the same month. I'm going to spend $40 on them this month instead of the $15, but next month I'm not going to spend any on them. Like, you can find ways to make it work for you. Reviewing at least weekly is going to be something that's key, because it will show you your strengths and your weaknesses that you need to overcome within the same month to make sure that every dollar is accounted for. And that's why it's so important to look at this at least weekly. I look at my spreadsheet probably 2 to 3 times a day. I know for a fact that my husband looks at it at least daily. I would assume he looks at it probably daily. There will be times that I'm in my spreadsheet and I see his a little bubble pop up that shows that he's also in the spreadsheet, and I'm just like, oh, that's so sweet. We're truly a team on it. So review it weekly. Make sure that you do that. So budgeting 101, again, to recap, know what you're working with, set your goals, find your pain spots so you can fix them and set your limits, cook at home, give every dollar a name, and review your budget at least weekly. That's key. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped. I feel like I was just telling you my favorite things to tell people about budgeting, but that's what we're here for, right? I'm just having a casual conversation with you all you internet people who don't know me. Anyway, if you want to learn more about me, know me more, you can find me on the internet at The Pretty Plus, on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and Instagram, also on theprettyplus.com. And you can leave me comments, send me sweet messages, like this video, and subscribe if you want to see more of me. That'd be cool. And I will chat with you next time. Bye, guys.